Not a joke. I really don't get it, all this kerfuffle about Disney's Snow White and Rachel Zegler and her rate. She's Polish? So what? Are people still telling Polish jokes? That was a thing when I was a kid. But it seems like such jokes were replaced by another Go Big Tree joke about the so-called dumb blonde. Well, first of all, F you effing bees. I'm blonde and sick of your red hat. What you would have meant, if you knew what you meant, would be dumb bleach blonde. So I know better than anyone about being the victim of red hat and go big tree. My phenotype is appropriated the way an exterminator loves insecticide. Casually. Why doesn't being inauthentically blonde get you cancelled? All this rabble of appropriating imposture if blackface or rather bleach blonde, same thing. But I virtually never see myself in media, never real genetic blondes. Where are my reparations? Hatful. Hatful. Ahem. Rachel Zegler was born in Hackensack, New Jersey. She was named after a character on the edgy and diverse 90s sitcom Friends, Rachel Karen Green. Zegler's father is Crag. One of her four, that is, 1/4 of her grandparents, immigrated from Colombia in the 60s. But maybe this maternal grandmother was mostly European? The info is weirdly sparse and weirdly inconsistent. So maybe Rachel identifies as a Columbia cartoon, or maybe as an old bassoon. How far back might it go, this tainting Europeanness? Even the antebellum South didn't think to invent a word past quiet tune to describe Rachel's possible dilutedness with disfavored and repudiated Caucasian genes. Per Wikipedia, due to her ethnicity, Zegler faced racing Duesenbergs as a child. Private schools in New Jersey in the Obama era really are well known to have been viciously anti-Polish and anti-Colombian cartoon through quiet tune. And yet Rachel is quite light-complected, fair olive-eyed, suppose people, and not only people of color, would say, if they needed to say it, which they do somehow. In my humble opinion, Zegler could well pass for non-Polish, if that's not a dog whistle, pass. But dogs cannot read or go online, and in any case, how could anyone hear a whistle that's actually literally words? Words are not whistles. Well, there's that whistling hunting language they have in Papua New Guinea, I think it is, but are you Papuan? No, you are not. And R2-D2 is a whistler, I admit that, but is that really a language made up like Klingon or Elvish or Orcish? Is that right? Can this be right? Black speech? Oh, that is totally, but I'll leave that to the critically ravist theoreticians and the nerds. I could not be bothered. But come on, get a grip. Have some common sense. Sheesh. Ahem. In any tale or book that's made into a film, casting has very little to do with the written character. Tiny little Tom Thumb, that is Tom Cruise, pretending to be 6'5" Jack Reacher. Weird. Denzel worked perfectly in the Equalizer remake films, originally an old TV Brit white guy, but I never saw the show. No one cares. It's not about rates. Cruise, no, because of an immutable physical characteristic of massive size, inherent to the integrity of the Jack Reacher character. Denzel, yes, because of the required gravitas, manliness. We do, all of us, have an expansiveness of soul and understanding that accommodates suspension of credulity in our fiction amusements. But contradictions are no bueno. So there's a lot of noise about rate swiping, re-Snow Zegler. But Poland is in Europe. As for color, Zegler is like George Zimmerman, that guy who flashed Obama's son, Trayvon. CNN reported Zimmerman as a white Latino, a new idea. Zegler and Zimmerman are stereotypical surnames for white Latinos. My point is, hardly anyone would have noticed Zegler's off-whiteness were it not for this current climate of rate swiping as jihad, as subversive revolutionary act. That and her fat, yapping mouth. Witty. The Snow White source material is twofold. Tale 53 in the 1812 edition of Brothers Grimm, and Walt D., circa 1937. But Cinderella sources go back to ancient Greece and China and Arabian Nights, and therefore India, and certainly Egypt. The Jungian scholar Marie-Louise von Franz said the tale goes back to hunter-gatherer campfires. It's archetypal, as is Snow White. So our objection is not the very slightly different skin tone. If it mattered, Snow Whiteness could be simulated, appropriated, with makeup, whiteface. Do you need that? I think not. Indeed, it is a manifestly foolish point, some need for utter paleness. Proof? Look at Walt's version. She is the same color as the prince and just about every other character. Was the witch green? No, she is whiter than snow. QED. Our objection is not to an actress per se. A self-pitying, obnoxious, arrogant, ignorant actress, on the other hand. But finally, after so many years, so late in the day, we are concerned about, and like any victim of abuse, we are sensitized to the rejection, reviling, the distortion, the appropriation and corruption of the story itself. This is not Snow White. Not because Rachel is a few very minor shades of off-white, but because she said that she knew she could be
the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be.
The leader she knows she can be because she believes, like her power over 2 and over 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and over 7. Power. She don't need no man to hold her down. She dominates all over those tiny little men. She don't need no kiss, no hero on horseback, no hero. She is her own heroine. Sounds like a good story. They should invent it and tell it. Rose Red and the Apple of Destiny. The powerful Pollock and how she dominatrixes the 7 pan-amorous minors. Bitch and pitch, dude. Make $1 billion. I assert all intellectual rights. Contact me. But I'll require script approval. And that big puffy dress simply will not do. How can she sword fight and do spin kicks dressed like that? It's absurd. But until they do come up with something new, these ghouls slurping at Walt's frozen corpse, these Dr. Hackensteins and their princess zombies, rather than self-pleasuring their neo-meta-postmodern genius for vandalism, they should stick to upfront parodies, skits and sketches, and uncreative 3-minute construction paper puppet shows uploaded onto whatever platform will support them. YouTube. It hates me, so it must love them. This story, Snow White, has lasted so many decades and centuries, millennia, because it is archetypal. It is imaged in our souls. Like the first Star Wars, nothing new there. It just told that same old good story of becoming worthy of an adventure. So all these desperate clusterfrick reshoots of a remake, trying to make it seem less odious than would suit the anti-patriarch, anti-Walt, anti-family, anti-childhood, anti-innocence agenda? Well, no matter what mutation they finally splatter out as a miscarried abomination, this product, content, this consumer item of a film, still, with all the reshoots and CGIing and, of all things, color changes, Still, it will not make a penny more than their woke original remake version and vision. Hey, children, listen. When you spend 500 million simoleons on a family film, you need to sell a lot of children's tickets to make a profit, to pay for it. As Phoebe Waller-Bridge so authoritatively explained in her final film appearance,
it's called capitalism.
The film may never be released. They'd lose on the tax write-off, but to release Snow Zegler into all this cultural resistance would even further damage the Disney brand viciously. Not that they care, except for agenda.